But uh, tell me about this law and the history of it. Just go to work. Let the Bahamian know the truth, because we don't have any books to read in my generation. I'm 32. I was born in '76. I don't know anything. Educate us. You take the mic.
Well, Lincoln, first I must say thank you for this opportunity. But in the 50s and 60s, segregation in the Bahamas was not by law. Segregation in the Bahamas was by custom. So you didn't go to the cinema on Bay Street,
The Savoy.
the Savoy, because there was a law which said you couldn't go. It was, in fact, mostly by custom. There was a casino called the Bahamian Club opposite the Western Esplanade next to Xavier's, what is now Xavier's. Casino gambling was there, but it was taken for granted that you looked over the wall or you probably worked there as a waiter. Never occurred, that you would think that you could go in. And so while white Bahamians took it as a privilege and probably did so in their white uh, um, um, formal coats, and whenever they pleased to visit it, they would probably go. In 1956, said in Dubuque, they said in Dubuque, I was working at the Treasury at the time. I went out there and participated in a demonstration, even as a young civil servant, again, in support of a bill he introduced to outlaw discrimination in public facilities. The late said in Dubuque did that. Um, in 67, when we got majority rule, and it that sort of liberation translated throughout the population, and the license
Hold on, wait.
which
But was the bill passed that Eddie and Deputes introduced?
yes, eventually, yes, but I think we put some pressure, a large public demonstration, you know. Um, but by 1967, when we got majority rule, the liberating feeling naturally, since there was no law banning Bahamians from gambling casino, that Bahamians just naturally took that for granted that we now can go since we are in charge of the country now, and they did, and we went to the casinos and Bahamians went to the casinos and played, but for some reason, by when we had a by-election and the PLP gained a substantial majority in Parliament in '68, 1 year later, '69, very abruptly, Mr. Penlin decided he'd go to London to have the Constitution upgraded in the process to what they call responsible government. Uh, and so he went, in addition to the little housekeeping and changing certain administrative laws, he went to the British government with two proposals that, as Prime Minister, he would take control of the police force, and secondly, that the British would approve a law which they were wanted to introduce, barring Bahamians from gambling in the casinos. Well, the colonial secretary at that time, I remember the conference at which time the colonial secretary, chairing the meeting, um, looked in amazement at Mr. Bendling and the delegation. I was embarrassed for him if he was not embarrassed for himself and the rest, that the British reminded him of what it is he was asking, to discriminate against British citizens, in the fact that he was wanted to deny Bahamians who were British citizens privileges which were being granted to another. Now, he referred to, of course, the the UN Charter on discrimination. Of course, Great Britain would have been a part of that, and that law which states, that is why our Constitution states that subject to the provisions of this is legal talk 4, 5, and 9 of this article, no law shall make any provision which is discriminatory either in itself or in effect. Now that's the philosophical basis.
Soon to come, watch U-Town Lincoln as they get tattoos of gambling emblems to assist with their cause. Today's show was brought to you by Nitro Films Incorporation, breaking sound barriers faster than the eyes can see. Quick Kicks, Love Yourself, and the Tattoo King, the home of the world's famous Anna Nicole tattoos.
In this article, the expression discriminatory means affording different treatment to different persons attributable wholly or mainly to their respective description by race, place of origin, political opinions, color, or creed. Now, that's the law. They told Mr. Bentley, I do not know how you're going to get around that, but these are his words. If you can go back and get with your team of legal luminaries, you can come back to us. After all, it's your country. You can come back, and we can see whether that provision can be inserted into the Constitution.
So you are saying that when Finland went over there to Britain to add a discriminatory and a part to this act to discriminate against Bahamians, the Britons rejected him?
Yeah, they rejected that. He went back later. He came home. I don't know who these legal luminaries he met with, and that is why this bill here is in itself all sort of contradiction. Mind you, it said no law, and then they start with exceptions. Paragraph 1 of this article shall not apply to any law so far as this law makes provisions, but E, for authorizing the granting of license or certificate permitting the conduct of lottery, the keeping of gaming houses, all right, which impose upon persons who are citizens of the Bahamas disabilities or restrictions to which other persons are not made subject. Wow. Now, what is that? That is discrimination on the basis of what? National origin, which expressly this article was intended. So, this has stayed in this Constitution in all this contradictory form. And, I lost respect for lawyers from then. And as I said, in my subsequent years in life of interactions with them, I've seen nothing in apparently their makeup for me to regain any respect. Because if all these legal people have allowed this mumbo jumbo, see, they apparently don't have. Ideology is the overriding philosophy which governs and guides anything. Pragmatism is merely the vehicle of how you get to the objective of your ideology. But ideology is overriding. And so if your overriding ideology is that you want to discriminate against Bahamians, then no excuse negates that, because we came from a history of being discriminated against. And so as I told Pinling, I'm not that stupid to pass a law barring myself from someplace.
Civil rights, fairness in law, protection from discrimination. Two of the world's greatest civil rights leaders are Ms. Rosa Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On the 20th of January 2009, Martin Luther's dream became reality. Today, what about the hope and dreams of the Bahamian citizens? We are still deprived of our civil rights. Who will rise to the occasion and remove the veil from our bride? How long will we allow them to control what is rightfully ours? Controversy TV, Season 3.